Alright guys, welcome to your sixth beginner's Java lesson, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys about constructors. Now, what are constructors, and there are how many types of constructors are there? I'm going to be elaborating on them, so let's just get started. Now, what are constructors? Constructors in Java are a special type of methods that we use to initialize an object, or we call at the time of object creation. Now, it's the constructor that provides data for the object, and that is why it is known as a constructor. So that's why we construct the properties of an element, of an object. So without further ado, let's know how to initialize a constructor. So the first thing we do is we write public or whatever modifier, but actually I prefer to choose public, then our class name, that is student. And now there are two types of constructors: default constructors and parameterized constructors. Default constructors are those without any arguments, and parameterized constructors are those with arguments. So I'm making a default constructor first. So this is how you declare it. Now, one of the most important things is public static void main, without which your program will not run. Alright, now let's make an object first. Main student, well, and here we go. Now this is a default constructor, and we can just print it out. We can go system.out.println bacon is awesome. Alright, and over here I can go and say system.out.println inside main method. So let's just go and run this, and let's see how this works out. So yeah, now what's gonna happen is that first bacon is awesome is gonna print, okay, and then inside main method. So what's happening is that student, an object is created, and then it invokes a function for the student constructor, and then over here it's gonna go inside this block and print it out. Then it's gonna go to the next line. It's gonna be like inside main method. So this is how a default constructor works. But what if I wanna use a parameterized constructor? Now remember, default constructors are mainly used for showing the null value of an object. So if I make, okay, this is a student class, right? So if I make properties, the properties of of a student is int id, and of course string name, right? So over here, if I do system.out.println, if I do id over here, and next line I print the name, let's see what's gonna happen. So I'm sure the first thing that's gonna be printed out is 0, because the int is always initialized with 0, and then the name, which is a string, is always initialized with a null, and then of course your bacon is awesome and inside main method. So this is how a default constructor works. Let's go ahead and remove all of this. Actually, don't remove this. So let's just remove this. So now, in order to make a parameterized constructor, everything is just the same except for two things. Number one, we create more values over here. So if I want name and id, so I put int I and string n. So what's gonna happen is that the value of int id is gonna be passed to I, and the value of name is gonna be passed to n. Now when we do system, now what's gonna happen is inside this we need to do id equals I, and over here we need to do name equals n, so that we make all the values equal to each other. Yeah. Now this thing is showing an error saying that there is nothing inside this, because these two do not match, right? This has stuff and this doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the values. So let's say I want to put my val int as 5, and then I need to put my name. So if it's, let me put the name as 007, and it's gonna be over here Bond, right? So James Bond. And let me make another object called student. S1 equals new student, and over here I'm going to be like 001 comma blonde, right? Now if we need to print this out, we can directly print it over here by just writing system.out.println I and n. But if you make public void main display, it can give you a better view or a simpler code. Because I'll tell you what, over here, yeah, so over here it's going to be, let me just wait, I'll tell you. So it's going to be over here I, and over here it's going to be n. Now you see this is red, this I is in red. Why? This is happening because this I is a local variable. So in order for this to work, we need to put class variables, okay? And over here we have a name. So when we print this out, now who is gonna semicolon over there, now who's gonna invoke the function, right? So we need someone to invoke it. So I'm gonna be like the s.display and s1.display. Note one more thing, whenever I'm doing s.display, the value of the s object goes, so 007 and Bond, and s1.display, when I invoke this function, 001 and blonde is gonna go, okay? It's a pretty simple code, I'm sure you will understand it. So let me just go and run this. Wow, so first we have bacon is awesome because I printed this out over here, okay, because it ran from here, and over here it's gonna run bacon is awesome again, and after that the next line is going to be inside main method, and over here it's going to be 7 and Bond and 1 and blonde. Now note, Java removes all these double zeros before a number because they do not make any sense, and then just taking extra memory in this in the in the memory, okay, internal memory. Now this is how you make a parameterized constructor, pretty simple. Now in the later classes I'm going to be teaching you guys about this, like the keyword this, and it's pretty important for knowing parameterized constructors. And I'm going to be also teaching you guys about constructor overloading and constructor chaining, so, and static and a lot of other things. So guys, don't forget to subscribe and keep watching my tutorials. Now see you next time.